Anyway, I was thinking to myself one day, how can I stop the insanity of having to put ice in a cooler and getting my hands all wet? Well, it came to me, 12-volt fridge. And then magically I checked my emails, and we had an email from Set Power, who is the manufacturer of this, and asked if we wanted to test out one of their coolers. It's like a no-brainer. Well, that's what this is. This is a 12-volt RV fridge. It's the RV65D. It's dual zone. It's powered by 12-volt or it's powered by 110 power. And it's going to take the place of, I don't know what it's going to take the place of, but it's going to take place of something. Well guys, as most of our review videos go, we're here to review a product that we know absolutely nothing about. So if you've been looking for a novice to try to learn how to use a 12-volt refrigerator, then you're in the right spot. Ain't this exciting? I know you're asking yourself, why would somebody who has a drone channel be interested in reviewing one of these things? I'm going to show you. Check this out. Well, this Set Power fridge here is a dual zone refrigerator freezer. So you can have fridge freezer, freezer freezer, freezer fridge, or fridge fridge. How awesome is that? Well anyway, since this is the fridge and freezer side, I want to show you what I found in here. This is one cool drone. How about that? But wait, it gets even better. This is an even cooler drone. Hey Dwight, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that was dumb. Well, you're right. So what I want to show you guys about this unit is, first thing is it's pretty heavy. It's like 55 pounds empty. So if you have this thing full, it's going to be pretty hard to move. Check out how well this is made. I mean, that's metal. This is a heavy duty latch. You open it up and inside, oh, there's Dwight's still in there. Let me get him out. But you open it up and inside you've got this material here that's very insulated and it's going to keep the cool in. It's got these rubber gaskets around the lid, and whenever you, whoops, let me move Dwight again. Whenever you close the lid, this latch comes down. I'm telling you what, that is tight. I don't think there's going to be any real air escaping out of that. Let me get your sister out of here, Dwight. Hi, Rose. Now you may also be wondering, how is Kevin going to incorporate drones into this video? Have you not been paying attention? I think I already did. There's 2 drones right here, but I'm really going to show you guys how I can incorporate drones into this refrigerator later on in the video. Actually, maybe I could do it right now. Do you see this right here? Now when this refrigerator is under power, there's 2 USB-A spots right here that you can connect anything to charge that connects to a USB-A. Well, both of these drones can be charged by USB-A cables. You're welcome. Well, putting all the shenanigans to the side here, and I'm not calling Dwight and Rose shenanigans. Watch how easy this is. All right, now that it's on the floor, I can get better access to it. Like I was saying, the left side for me is going to be the fridge side, and the right side, I should say, for us is going to be on the, or the freezer side is going to be the right side. But anyway, inside the refrigerator side, you got these 2 baskets. And that's really helpful for when you have a full load in there. You don't have to go digging around everywhere to get to the bottom. And then also in the bottom here, if I can get this basket out, oh, get out of there. There's a drain plug, which not a lot of companies, I guess, supply these drain plugs for the fridges and for their coolers. And it's kind of tough to get it out, but it comes out just like that. Now this is just a pressure fitting, so you got to make sure that that gasket is sealed whenever you put this back in. Otherwise, if you have a leak or something, you might end up losing some precious whatever out of the cooler, and it may end up causing a mess. Overall, I think this is a really good looking fridge, but I want to get it back up on the workbench so we can have a closer look at it. Come on, Kevin, can't you think of anything better to talk about than drain plugs? It says it's only 55 pounds. I might need to weigh this thing. Maybe we've got some hidden stuff in there that we don't know about. As you guys noticed here in the freezer section, there was this little cutout area. Well, that's where the compressor is. The compressor is inside of here, and it goes all the way to the back. And there's an access panel. There's your power station area, and there's your control panel. I want to let you guys know that if you have any questions about the operation of this thing, well, guess what? It comes with its own user manual. And I know we don't read user manuals, but this thing has some pretty good information in it. If you can't find the answer to your question in the user manual, they've also got a website that's pretty easy to navigate to. How do I know? Because I navigated it. Well, this fridge also comes with your cables that you need to, I guess, operate the unit. So you've got your 110 cable, I'm sorry. You've got your 110 cable that comes with a converter brick. So you got to connect these together and then you can plug this into the wall. But it also comes with your 12-volt charger, or 12-volt adapter that you can use to charge in your vehicle. So this might be an option that a lot of people would go for because this is called a car fridge. I think that's how they have it listed on their website. Looking at the connectors though, you can tell that it's a pretty beefy connection. It's a 12 volt DC connection, and that's for the car plug. And it's also got a nice thick connector for the 12 volt to go to the 110 power. Nice setup. Now getting back to the control panel, or actually getting back to the power area over here, there's the section that you plug into the wall with the cord that they provided. Now they've also got an Anderson style connection here. See, so it's, I don't know if it's a stronger connection or a better connection or if it may provide more power, I'm not sure. But they've also got that available too, they just don't include the cable. And then of course the 2 USB cables that I was talking about where we can charge our drones. But that's not all. They've also got an outlet on the left side over here. So if you need to, if your outlet that you need to plug this into is on the left side of the fridge, then you don't have to run such a long cable. So you can charge it from this side or from the right side. It looks to me like they pretty much thought of everything here. Now there is one word of caution in the manual that this thing needs like a 4-inch berth around it for airflow. But take a look at the fins. There's fins on the front here, and then there's fins on the side. And then on the back side, there's also some more fins that look similar to this. A couple of things that Set Power claims about this is, first of all, this will allegedly, and I say allegedly because I'm not sure, this will cool down from ambient temperature all the way down to the cooling temperature in 15 minutes. Now, I think that's pretty fast because our RV, that refrigerator takes pretty much like 8, 10, 12, 14 hours to get from the ambient temperature to where we can actually put food in it and not worry about it. Another feature about this fridge is that it's got an eco mode, which will use less power. So in eco mode, it can use up to 40 watts of power, and in max mode or regular mode, it can use up to 60 watts. It's actually a pretty big difference. Well, Set Power also claims that the internal fan in the compressor here is really, really quiet. They had a term, but I can't remember what it was. Ultra quiet, maybe? I prefer peace and quiet. One more thing that's worth knowing about this fridge before we go do some tests is it's got 3 levels of battery protection. It's got low, medium, and high. And what that means is this will detect the voltage or the status of your battery that you're using to power it. And if it feels that, or if it detects that the battery is below a certain number or a certain amperage, it'll shut off in order to protect that battery. Now, that feature I think was in place specifically for me because I've got a tendency of leaving the headlights on and draining the car battery. So that's what they're trying to avoid, is they're trying to avoid you being stranded on the side of the road because your refrigerator used up all your battery. We'll call that the Kevin clause. Well, let's move on to the testing phase of this video. We're going to take this refrigerator out to the camper and we're going to test 4 different things. We're going to test to see how fast it does get cold, all the way down to freezing temperatures. 15 minutes, we'll see. Secondly, we're going to test the internal fan to see if it really is 35 decibels. Well, the third test, like I said before, has to do with these. We're going to plug in some drones while this is under power, and we're going to see if this will charge up our drone batteries. And then, whoa, almost fell over. And then the fourth and final test, we're going to test this thing for 24 hours and see how much power it actually uses to keep things cool for 24 hours. It's like a 24-hour test. Well, guys, it's time for me to get this over to the camper and get it loaded up so we can get this test started. Wish me luck. Hope I don't fall. Oh, my spleen! I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that was dumb. Well, you're right. We're in the camper and this is our setup. What do y'all think? So we've got the fridge sitting up here on a table. Then we've got the power station down at the bottom so we can get this sucker powered. Over there, we've got the fireplace going because it was so cold in here this morning that I couldn't really do any type of test with this because the internal temperature of the refrigerator was in the 30s already. So I had to warm this place up so we could get an actual test completed with this refrigerator. Florida. Right now I've got the fridge plugged into that outlet right there in the RV. I'm going to save the power station for the big test, for the 24-hour test. I don't want to deplete that anymore because I got it charged up to 100%. I want to show you guys what happens though when this refrigerator gets plugged in. Watch this. So I plug the refrigerator in. The screen lights up and goes out. But check this out. On the inside of the fridge, you've got these 2 lights, one for each zone. And the lights go off whenever the lids close. How about that? Now that we've got the fridge plugged in, let's take a look at the, what is this called? The control panel. Now that we got the fridge plugged in, let's take a closer look at the control panel. In order to turn this fridge on, you've got to hold the on-off button down for 2 or 3 seconds, and it'll pop up the screen. It'll power it up. And right now, according to this, the internal temperature of this fridge is 66 degrees. Let's see if they're right. I've got this fancy-dancy thermometer here. I'm going to just hit the button real quick and see what the temperature actually is. Well, it says 67, so it's pretty close. Let's see what it is over here. Yep, 67 degrees. It looks to me like their temperature display is pretty accurate. Getting back to the control panel here, I like to say that this is the fridge side and this is the freezer side for our applications anyway. You can, again, use this freezer, fridge, you know, all that stuff that I said earlier and confused everybody. But you can turn your temperatures up and down using this dial here. Go all the way up to, I think it's 60 something. I'm not even sure. Let me just hold it down. I guess the right side only goes to 50. And then the left side will go all the way up to 50. So I guess both sides will only go up to 50 degrees. Let's see how low it'll go on the left side. It's just going all the way down. I think that's going to go down to 0. I'm not 100% sure here. Yeah, 0 degrees, and then the right side as well is at 0 degrees too. It goes down in quicker increments though, at like 2 or 3 degrees at a time. So it's all the way down to 0, and now that one's set to 0 degrees. So let me turn this thing off. Let me turn this back up to, say, 30. What do we like for refrigerator temperature? 36 degrees? Yeah, we'll go 36 degrees for the refrigerator side, and we'll go 0 degrees for the freezer side. Let me turn this off real quick because there's a test I want to do, and I don't want it to get an unfair advantage. Let me hold down the button. Sorry, I dropped you. Look at the tripod. The tripod's broke. Well, the first test I want to do is going to require these lids to be closed because this is the cooling test. Now again, Set Power says that this will cool in 15 minutes from the ambient temperature down to the set temperature. And I'm not sure if they mean the set temperature on the freezer side, which is 0, or the set temperature on the fridge side, which is a little bit higher, like 36 degrees. So we're going to plug this in and we're going to start it for 15 minutes. And we're going to see if the temperature goes from, I think it was displayed at 66, down to what it's supposed to be. Now, doesn't that sound like fun? What time is it? Right now it's 12:31. So we're going to turn this fridge on and we're going to see if it's going to cool down like it's supposed to in 15 minutes. Oh, now the right side's up to 68 degrees, left side's at 66 degrees. So we've got this all set. And the compressors come on, the fan's running. So now we know that it's actually cooling. Good deal. So when the clock up there strikes 12:46, we'll double check and see how close we are to the actual settings. Now, again, this is an empty fridge, so I could be totally screwing this test up. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. But while this is running, there's a test I want to do with this little puppy. You guys know what this is? Well, one thing I've noticed so far, and we're just a few minutes into this test, is the right side here isn't cooling. The light's not lit up. This side is, and it's gone from 66 to 64 degrees. I'm kind of wondering if this cools one side down at a time. Maybe it's got to get one side cooled down before it can start working on the other side. Well, I don't think this is going to happen in 15 minutes. Anyway, getting back to this is a decibel meter, and yes, it's been calibrated by Weather Roberts. But I want to see if their claim for 39 decibels is correct with this fan, because I can hear the fan right now. Can you guys hear it? I've been able to identify that the fan is somewhere in here because this is the loudest part of it. So I'm just going to turn this on. Actually, let me walk over here and we'll get an ambient reading away from it and we'll see. Look at all that crap. And we'll see what the numbers are. So over here where there's not any noise except me talking, we're at 40 decibels. So if their claim of 30, I think it was 39, it might have been 35, is accurate, we might not get a reading at all. All right, back over here at the fan, and we're reading up to 50 decibels. I wonder if it's got to do with maybe it's 35 or 39 decibels at a certain distance. A lot of times things like generators that have these decibel claims and things, they'll say that at a distance of 25 feet, this is the reading that you're going to get. So that could be the case here, but they didn't specify in the manual or on their website. Well, the fridge side's down to 60, but this side still hasn't kicked on yet. It's kind of a head scratcher. I do have to say, it's not like a really loud noise or a really high-pitched hum, so it's not annoying. It's just not 39 or 35 decibels. I just noticed this, guys. So now it's got the refrigerator side down to 57. Well, it popped over and now it's cooling the freezer side. So this could be the temperature that they're talking about in 15 minutes. Maybe it gets down to 57 degrees on one side and the other side, who knows? Let's move on to something real quick I think you guys are pretty interested in, and that's drones. Remember these two USB outlets right here? We're going to test them out and make sure that they work. I got to hurry because we're down to 3 minutes. Now here's Rose's controller and her batteries. Now she's our DJI Mini 2. So let's plug this in up here, make sure that that's going to work. And yep, it's charging the batteries. It looks like it's pretty slow, but it's charging. Now let's plug in the controller. And we're going to see if both of these are going to work at the same time. And yep, it's charging both things at the same time. So the USB outlets, they work like they're supposed to. Now I like that. And you guys didn't think I was going to incorporate drones into this video. I want to disconnect these real quick though so it doesn't interfere with the cooling process. All right guys, it's 12:46. It's been 15 minutes. Let's see where we're at. I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem like it's made very much progress, especially on the freezer side. This started out at 68 degrees. It's still at 68 degrees. Now the refrigerator side, it started out at 66 degrees and made it all the way down to 52. So I think that's okay for now. But I'm kind of concerned about this side. Oh, it just went down to 67. It's only been a couple of more minutes and you can see that the freezer side's down to 64 now. And the refrigerator side, even though it's not on, it's still cooling. So maybe it does cool both sides at once. Maybe it just doesn't light up both lights. Anyway, I'm going to give this refrigerator some more time to cool off. I'm going to clean up my mess. And then we're going to start our 24-hour test. I know you guys are looking forward to that. This could be a pretty long video. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that was dumb. Well, you're right. It's been almost 25 minutes. And I want to double check this thermometer. So right now it says 50 degrees on the right side and 45 degrees on the refrigerator side. So let's open this up and see where we're at as far as my calibrated gun goes. All right, let me turn this thing on. And right now it's saying that inside this, it's at 23 degrees, 22 degrees. So it looks like it might have cooled off in the allotted time. I just didn't know it. Let's try the freezer side. This is kind of surprising. I'm pulling the trigger and it's down to 22 degrees as well. That's really weird, but I think it may have worked. It's definitely cold to the touch. I'm not really sure why there's such a big discrepancy between the number that's displayed on the control panel for the temperature and the actual temperature inside. Maybe that's something that's normal for these things. You guys let me know, because again, like I said before, I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm just testing it out. But I really do think that it's time to disconnect it from the shore power and to plug it into the power station and get this 24-hour test started. The sooner we start this 24-hour test, the quicker it'll be over. So just to protect the fridge, I'm going to shut it off before I unplug it and plug it into the power station. Well, I don't remember explaining to you guys what the 24-hour test is. It might be a good thing to do, right? Pretty much what I want to know is I want to know how much power this refrigerator uses out of our 1500 watt power station in a 24-hour period. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the refrigerator into the power station, and every 3 hours or so I'm going to come in and check on it and see what the status of the power station is and make sure that it's keeping the temperature cool inside the refrigerator freezer. So let me pull this power cord from here and bring it over here to the power station. I'm going to turn the power station on. Oh, it looks like it already came on. And I'm going to hit AC. It's got its power, so I'm going to turn the power on. We've got the settings. Let me make sure that it's still the same. Yep, everything's still the same. I'm going to move this up to 40 degrees. Well, maybe it just doesn't take 40 degrees. There, well, 41 degrees. I'll have the refrigerator on 41 degrees and the freezer on 0 degrees. Well, looking down here at our power station, the power station is charged up to 100%. And it says right now we can 10 hours. It went from 99, oh, okay, it's back up to 99 hours. So it's using 57 watts of power or so. It keeps fluctuating between like 50 and 60, and I've seen it ramp up to like 300 watts briefly. Well, there's another example, 173 watts. And the official start time is 1:06. All right, guys, well, I think it's time to let the fridge and the power station do their thing. I'll check back with you in a few hours. All right, guys, we're going back inside to check this 3 hour, it's about 3 hours or so. I got to take my shoes off. Like I was saying last time, we don't wear shoes in the camper. Look at this, it's 4:06 right now. So we're about 3 hours into this 24-hour test. Question is the power station gonna last? Well, looking at the control panel here, the temperature is down to 0 and at 41, which is what they're both set at. So that's holding good. And it looks like it's, it sounds like it's on right now, like the compressor is running. And going down to the power station, it's already down to 83% and it's using about 60 watts of power. I don't know, this might not last. I was kind of under the impression that once it got down to temperature that the compressor wouldn't run very often and the power would last quite a bit longer, but man, 3 hours in and we've already lost 17%. It's not looking good for this power station. Well, let's open up the refrigerator side and we'll see what the reading is on the trusty thermometer. So right now we're reading right at 45 degrees. So it's a little bit higher than the reading on the outside control panel. So we'll close this up and we'll go over to the freezer side. Let's see what the freezer side shows. It's definitely cold in there. All right, so we've got -8, -9 degrees. Is that what that says? Looks like it says -8 or -7 right now. All right, well, we're going to keep our eyes on this stuff. And we're going to come back out here in a few more hours, maybe, I don't know, 6 hours or so, and give it another check. And it's already down to 82%. It's already lost 1% since we went out here. It seems like it could be pretty power hungry when it's empty. Maybe we'll do a comparison test for the future of this empty version versus the full version. Maybe that'd be a good follow-up video. All right, guys, we're back in the camper. It's 7:06. We're 6 hours into this test. I'm telling you what, this power station's suffering. So we're still holding strong at 0 degrees and 41 degrees on the panel. But look at this power station. It's already down to 67%. So I think we're going to have to do something different. Now, the compressor is still running. It jumped up to 380 there. Did you see that? I think what we need to do is I think we need to change this to the minimum setting or the eco setting so it uses less power during the night, because we've got 18 hours left or so. No, something like that. So let's see what a difference this makes. I'm going to hit set. I'm going to hold it down maybe. Go to minimum. I'm going to come down here to the thing here and see if it changes as far as the compressor goes. The wattage is still at 59 watts. Oh, it went all the way down to 9 watts. Wow, that's a huge difference. Oh, well, maybe it's shutting itself off. Yeah, it sounds like the compressor shut itself off, but that could be the trick here. Once you get the cooler down to temperature, maybe automatically swap it over to eco mode, especially if you don't plan on opening it up very much. I don't know, we'll see if this helps. Well, I'm gonna give this setup one more check in about 3 hours and see if that eco mode swap has made any difference. Then we'll let it work throughout the night and we'll check it tomorrow morning. Well, yeah, tomorrow morning sometime. Anyway, see you guys in 3 hours. It's 10 o'clock. It's been 9 hours since we started this test. Still holding strong at 0 and 41 degrees. We're still set on eco mode. Down here at the power station, it's dropped down to 54%. So in the last 3 hours, it's only dropped 12% as opposed to the 20-something% that it dropped the first 3 and the second 3 hours. I think we're on the right track here with eco mode. I forgot to show you guys, the compressor is running and it's at 43 or so watts. So it dropped from, what was it, 60 watts? What the heck? Well, I say since it's after 10 o'clock, it's time to go to bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, guys, it's 10 o'clock. The birds are mad. So let's go in here and check the status of this thing. I can say that we're still doing good as far as temperature goes. The compressor is running over there. And looking down at the power station, get ready, brace yourself. We're down to 2%. We went from 100% to 2% in 21 hours. This power station is a 1548 watt-hour power station, which equates, if my calculations are correct, to about 129 amp hours. I think we're gonna have to rename this test the 21-hour test instead of the 24-hour test. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits right here. But there is one more thing I wanna check. I wanna check the inside temperature because it's saying that it's holding at 41 degrees and 0 degrees. So let's see if that's still accurate. We're at 39 degrees inside the refrigerator side, 38 degrees. In the freezer side, we're at -8 degrees, -9 degrees. Well, guys, that's it. You've seen the results of our tests. What do you think? Do you think they were fair? Now, personally, I gotta give this refrigerator about a 7 out of 10 on the Werther-Roberts scale. Now, what's a Werther-Roberts scale? Oops, it just turned off. The power station is officially dead. Let me hit this button and show you. Oh, you can see it. It's at 0%. Yep, we've officially killed the battery in a matter of 21 hours, about 15 minutes. Well, I want to thank Set Power for sending us this refrigerator and letting us try it out. Now, if you guys want to find more information about this refrigerator or any of their other refrigerators, check the link in the description below. They also might even send us a discount code. Anyway, guys, be sure to leave us a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Do you think that these tests were good, fair, or do you think that in true Roberts fashion, we screwed something up? Let me know. All right, guys, as always, I want to thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week. God bless.